When I saw this case pop up, again, I wish I could be shocked. But this is the important thing that we have to do here, guys. When the police are caught doing things, we have to amplify that shit very loud and very often because, reading what some abolitionists have reported about this current climate, Miriam Kaba, who is an author and abolitionist and new librarian. Congratulations to Miriam. But anyway, I see her talk about like she's never heard abolition be spoken about so much in regular media circles and independent media circles. Like I feel as though there is enough of us talking about truly abolishing the police and giving the reasons, number one, why the police should be abolished, number two, that there are better alternatives than the police. I think is very critical. And the situation that happened across the pond with Met police officer, pop up that Guardian article there for me, Will, because it's pretty wild. Okay, David Carrick. Okay, and if you look at the Guardian piece, okay, the Guardian, I thought the Guardian was supposed to be somebody of some repute. Perhaps I have that all wrong. Where did my screen go? The Guardian's headline still reads like propaganda. It says elite, elite Metropolitan Police Officer David Carrick revealed as serial rapist. Serial rapist. Okay? There is nothing that is the only elite thing about him. Apparently, he was an elite level rapist of women in his community for almost 20 years. This man was a Metropolitan Police officer for, I believe, 17 years, of which in this initial piece, they accused him of at least 85 instances of either rape or sexual assault. Pop up that AP piece for me there, Will, because what has happened is David Carrick, in fact, admits to multiple counts of rape. And I believe the account is in the 40s. Hold on, let me get this together. So, a London police officer on Monday admitted raping and sexually assaulting a dozen women over 17 years, and as prosecutors described, as one of the most shocking cases involving a serving police officer. Trust me, this is just the one they fucking found. David Carrick, 48, pleaded guilty to 49 offenses, including 24 counts of rape and charges that include assault, attempted rape, and false imprisonment. The officer who joined London's Metropolitan Police Force back in 2001 had served with the Parliamentary and Diplomatic Protective Command. And the other thing I found out about David Carrick is that he had actually been promoted to firearms nigga. I don't know what's the term, because not all cops in London carry guns, which is wild because somehow niggas keep end up getting shot by police. But that's another story. We'll get to that another day. The AP piece goes on to say the police department apologized to victims after it emerged that 9 allegations of rape and other crimes were made against Carrick between 2000 and 2021. He was only suspended from the force after his arrest for a rape complaint in 2021. Lord have mercy. Abolish the goddamn police. These motherfuckers can't catch a rapist that's literally under their nose, and which women and victims are bringing to the police's attention that they have a rapist in their ranks. And the police said, no, not Dave. Assistant Commissioner Barbara Gray said that the case, quote, was devastating and apologized for not removing Carrick from the force earlier. Lord. Quote, he has had a devastating impact on the trust and confidence of women and girls that we're working so hard to earn. He has devastated colleagues, said Gray in a statement. There was already a Met police officer who was charged in murdering a woman, Sarah Everhart. They were made aware about Carrick for years and they did nothing. Let me read further on. It says police said that Carrick met some of the women through online dating sites or on social media apps. Yes, I'm sorry. Using his position as a police officer to gain their trust. The victims did not feel able to come forward sooner because Carrick told them that they would not be believed. Wow. Well, he wasn't lying now, was he? I don't even want to hear what Sadiq Khan had to say. I don't want to hear what Rishi Sunak had to say. I don't want to hear what anybody had to say. Because at the end of the day, Sadiq Khan, uh, British PM Rishi Sunak, all of them, y'all know y'all don't have no power over these fucking cops, right? Like just let us just be clear. It has to come out with a monster like David Carrick. Like it has to come out that this person was so prolific in their attacks upon women and innocent people out in the world that, oh, now something must be done. Oh, now we're so devastated by this. Well, how come you don't believe women? Metropolitan Police. I mean, I know why. Because the world is a misogynistic place. Everybody hates women. Like women are not just hated here in the US. Women are hated everywhere. In the UK, they're hated everywhere. I mean, shit, I would have guessed that some of David Carrick's supervisors, who themselves need to be disciplined and fired, possibly even charged for enabling a serial rapist and sexual assaulter. I mean, there needs to be some accountability here because they were made aware about what this man's conduct and his behavior was. And they did nothing. They even had a nickname for him. They called him Bastard Dave. Oh, that's just Dave. That's just Dave being terrible to women on the job while he's on duty. And that's acceptable because, bitches be lying. And bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. We ain't got to listen to what these bitches be saying. Not Bastard Dave. Not Dave. David Carrick pleading guilty to dozens of rapes and sexual offenses there in the UK. And there has been an inquiry set forth. Is this by the Met Police? Ursula and Damien, set me straight if I'm saying this incorrect. So there has been a further inquiry made into active members of the Met Police who have been identified or flagged as either sexual assaulters or domestic abusers. Guys, would you like to know? Would you like to know the number? Would you like to know how many police that they have flagged amongst the Metropolitan Police ranks as having accusations of either sexual assault or domestic violence against them? The number is over 1,000. 1,000. 1,000. 1,000 police on the force at the Met with some sort of domestic or sexual abuse accusation against them. Kalechi was saying this on Instagram, and she said, the reason why people like David Carrick are able to thrive in such environments is because the system is set up for that, okay? The system is set up to enable and protect specifically men, specifically white men, to do whatever the fuck they want with no accountability. Anyone who is not a white man trying to come collect this white man, they get the stiff arm, okay? They get ignored. They get their complaints not taken very seriously. And like the goddamn predator told his victims himself, he said, you can come tell on me if you want to. No one's going to believe you. And was he wrong? he was allowed to perpetuate this terrorism on the women of the UK for nearly 20 years, all while being a cop. It's very on brand. And let's be clear, gang. Please do not think for a single second that there are not David Carricks among the police forces where you live, where I live. Okay? This is standard operating procedure. Police are there to inflict violence and intimidation upon communities, okay? They are there to make sure that people stay in their place, and especially us bitches. Especially us bitches, because we're only good for one thing, right? And if we're not trying to give up that one thing, oh well, they could just take it. You know, like all the rapists do. Abolish the police, burn them the fuck down. Get these goddamn rapists off the streets. Put them the fuck in jail. Stop worried about black kids smoking marijuana or jaywalking or motherfuckers with air fresheners dangling from their rearview mirrors. Focus on these rapists. Focus on these child abusers. Focus on these molesters. But if they did that, they would just be putting themselves in jail. which is why they do not focus on such things, which is why they have to make sure all of their resources, time, and energy are spent conducting traffic stops on non-white people to try to engage them. And that's their quote unquote policing.